Okay, so we're moving on to our next speakers here, and I'm going to find out if they would also like to have presenter status. Kimberly Nidy and Christy Cropper. Wow, so excited to talk to North Canton City Schools. So you guys are going to talk about your online school for deeper learning, how you've supplemented Excelis learning, which I'm not even familiar with Excelis. So I'm going to ask you, do you want presenter screen? Which one of you wants presenter screen?
This is Kim. I would like it, please.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Now you are presenter.
Oh, shit.
So go up to sharing to share. There you go. We can see your screen. It says NC on there.
Okay, let me drag this over.
Perfect. We can see that with the little lights.
See if this goes. Okay, does that look good?
Yeah, it looks great. Okay, I'm going to mute myself and let you guys let it rip and share out. I'm super excited to hear from both of you.
All right, great. Thank you. So, I'm Kim Nidy, and I have Christy Cropper along with me. We've been at North Canton Schools a very long time. Very proud to be here. So I used to be in the classroom, and now I'm director of technology. Christy has had actually all three of my children. She was my children's favorite teacher. So I'm not even just saying that. That's for real. So I'm glad that Christy agreed to come along and do this presentation, because although I know a lot about what we're doing, I think it's really important to hear from the people actually doing this. So what you're going to see today and what you're going to hear is how Christy has just completely dug into this online opportunity that we have kind of been thrust into by the pandemic. And, we recognized that we were going to give the option. So in our school, you can either choose to be in Viking Online, which is fully online, or you can choose to be fully in-person learning. So we had probably about 16% of our students or so choose to be online, and we have about 22 of our staff members who are working with those students. One of the things that we found right away is that Excelis, while it is a curriculum system set up, that it's pretty much fully, the kids just go through it step by step. They watch the lessons and they take assessments and move through content. We thought we needed to have a little bit more involved. And again, I'll let Christy talk to more of that as we get going here, but teachers like Christy really dug in. It's amazing how much work they have done, and you're going to see that here, how we have taken our Schoology as our learning management system and supplemented and are keeping on track the kids that are participating in the Excelis learning program. So at that point, I'm going to turn it over, and Christy, I'll move through the slides and you can share with them some of the really awesome things you have done along with other members of the online teaching team.
Okay, thanks, Kim. The first thing that I want to start out, we have heard loud and clear just from interviewing parents, we need to have a consistent landing page for parents, something that's easy, that's where everything is housed. That is the biggest obstacle that I think a lot of people faced in the spring. There were pieces and parts all over the place. And not having a consistent landing page that was the same was very difficult for parents. It was very difficult for teachers, and it was very difficult for students. So I got into a rabbit hole this summer with Bitmoji classrooms. And that's what you're seeing right now. This is my virtual classroom. It does look kind of like my house because that is my classroom right now. I am teaching completely from home. And so this is the students' landing page. They find this in Schoology. That is our learning management system, and it's what we use to house our grades, attendance, everything is housed there. And you'll see that learning management system later on, how the kids access this classroom. But this is our learning classroom. On here, I think the biggest thing for me personally is just that missing component of being around people, being around your classmates, being in a classroom with that hub. So I've really tried to do a lot with the social emotional aspect of not being in a classroom. So you'll see here, we're not going to go through all of these. Kim, did we share the slides with them?
I did send it. I'm not sure we can.
Okay. Well,
because there are links.
Yeah. For example, that birthday today, I've went through I have 62 students online. I'm responsible for all of their courses, language arts, math, science, and social studies. And so those 62 students, their birthdays are in there. We highlight them each month. Kim, if you want to click on, so Acellus is our landing, that is our curriculum that we are using in our district. While Acellus is grade level, at grade level, I think of it like a Basil in the classroom. Yes, I use it for some of my teaching, but it is not the end all to everything that I need to cover. And we quickly realized that with Acellus. I think that would be any online program that you're using. It's not going to be everything that you want. It's just like in a classroom. So if you click, Kim, on the Digital Academy supplements, these are all hyperlinks for the students, and these are all the things that we are using on a weekly basis for the kids. Again, it's one place for everything to be housed. There's a lot of upkeep at the beginning, just getting it all set up, but once it's set up, it's very streamlined and it's easy for everyone to access. So
and I would add I'm sorry, Christy, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just wanted to say for people that are watching this, she does have their passwords in there on the actual screen because this was a public facing presentation, we stripped out some of the things that were actual, passwords and things related to students. So that's why we have placed password here.
Yeah, those are actually classroom passwords. So Science Bin, I have a classroom password. That's how the kids access it. Scholastic Weekly. These are things that I used in my face-to-face classroom and that I'm also using digitally. Freckle is free. That actually was something new for me this year. Epic is also free. So these are just ways for kids to access education from home that's a little bit different. It's not the same what I want to say, same type setup. There's different ways for them to learn. And that's the biggest thing, just having flexibility and offering a lot of different ways for kids to learn. They kind of have ownership of their own learning, which is huge. We don't have a set time that kids have to be logged on. They just have there's a must-do page for the week and they have to complete that. I'm very flexible. They don't have to be on at 9 o'clock. It's whenever they're doing their work is completely fine with me as long as they're staying on pace. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. All screens have a home button at the bottom right that takes them back home. Just trying to think of what else is on here. I do have a lot of enrichment opportunities for the kids. And if you click there, Kim, yeah, that'll take them to different escape rooms. The Genius Hour Passion Project is probably one of my favorite. This is, again, giving kids ownership. They get to decide what they want to learn about for the year. They have to sign a contract, give me a presentation layout of what they want to research. We have a lot of different things going on. I have a student who is really intrigued with baking, so she wants to create her own recipe for a new cake, and she's obsessed with cats. So it's going to be in a cake pan that is a cat. So she's they're getting to do a lot of learning of things that they're passionate about. And then we plan on presenting that in a Google Meet, each person's passion project that they decide. But these are just different enrichment links. We have a choice board up there at the top of different enrichment activities that came from our director of gifted education. So she put that together for us. If you want to go back home, Kim, at the bottom right. Again, everything is housed in this virtual classroom for the kids. Kim, if you want to go to the October books, each month I link out different stories that can be read to the students. I'm actually 3rd grade, so these are just books that I found. These are all hyperlinks that the kids are able to listen to. A lot of it is that story online, where actual actors and actresses read the books to the kids. There is a ton of free websites for you to access to make the learning fun from home. Kim, you can go back home. I think that it keeps taking us to.
Well, it goes to the title slide, yeah.
Okay, perfect. I have a chill out room. There's some meditation for the kids that need a break. You don't have to click there, Kim. Indoor recess options for them to do at home, because parents are really, they are now the classroom, the teacher. And so I try to provide them a lot of different opportunities to help the day be fun. There's virtual field trips. Currently, my kids' favorite is the San Diego Zoo. That is free. They tell me at every Google Meet what's going on at that zoo. So if you look on the right-hand side, there is a Google Meets link. Kim, if you click that, I think we took out the actual link, but I try to keep all of my Google Meets on the same landing page. So what I did was, these are our social emotional Google Meets, and we do tons of fun things. There's games that you wouldn't even think of that you can do virtually with kids during a Google Meet. So this Google Meet meets twice a week. I do meet with all 62 kids. It is optional. There are some groups where all kids come. There are some groups, I at least have half every time. And they know that I'm not going to hound them about school. This is all just social emotional learning and feeling like we connect to someone. And so each twice a week, they go to that same link every single week. I'm not having to message them a new Google Meet. I set it up in my calendar so that's repeating, and it's another way to make it easy for the parents to know where to find it and how to get there. You can go back home if you want, or then go to the, yep. I think that's pretty much it on this slide. I mean, everything's pretty self-explanatory. We use Screencastify. We are blessed enough to have the, Kim, you can tell them what version we have. I don't know.
We have an I actually, at the beginning of the school year last year, it was almost like I had a crystal ball because I bought Screencastify, the enterprise version for the whole district, and it was really not that expensive. And we have about 4,200 students, and I think it was around 3,000, so it wasn't too bad. And I thought, it's a great tool to have for teachers and for students. And then little did we know, what would happen in the spring. So I just got a chart of our usage rates and how they went, just off the charts with teachers and students using Screencastify to make videos. So that was a great purchase.
Okay, you can go to the next slide. I'm not sure what I'm showing next, but oh yeah, we actually, this is just, again, that personal connection, because I will be honest, the thing that I missed most about teaching virtually is just the connection with kids. And so that's super important to me. So I let them know a little bit about me. I have been teaching 24 years. The kids, I just think it's important to have a personal connection. So that's what that's about. I think it's going to go through all my slides, actually. Kim, you can go ahead and keep going. So this is all created in a Google slideshow, and that's how I created it. I can go in and tweak things then, but the I guess the shell of it is a Google slide. And keep going, Kim. Keep one more. Oh, see, this is.
Do you just want to talk?
These are all the things in my classroom that are linked. So when kids go there, they take them to these pages. If you keep going, we may end up at the learning management system, so I can show them where everything is. Those are the class. That's just, oh, there we are. So like I said, we do use Schoology. This is the landing page for all the parents, and all of our grade levels are using the same landing page. I think in the spring what happened, we were just all kind of, we had 3 days literally to become virtual, which was a problem in itself, but we weren't all using the same landing page in Schoology, and that posed a lot of problems. So everything that the kids need for their virtual learning is housed in Schoology. And this is what they see when they log on to the homeroom course. At the bottom.
Oh, can we go back?
Okay. Yeah, click on the must-dos. This is what my kids have to do each week.
It's not going.
Okay.
The link is not active. I just took a screenshot.
Okay, so that must-dos really gives the kids flexibility on when and how they want to learn. As long as they complete, what I have laid out for them, it's kind of like that brick road that we were talking about earlier. I've laid the path. How they choose to go down that path and when and where is kind of up to them. So it is a lot of upfront work, but then it's like we're almost through the first grading period, and it's working very well now. Just like anything, the first couple weeks were a little hideous, just trying to teach the kids how to do this. But now they know exactly what to do. So these buttons are actually embedded in Schoology, and it takes them to whatever they need. They know that first button is what they have to complete that week, what their goals are and their learning path is. And then they choose when and how. I don't know what's next, Kim.
Next slide is the kind of your folder system in Schoology.
So as I said before, I think the biggest thing is it's really like flipping your classroom. I have a lot of Screencastify videos that are available 24/7 for the families. These are the different folders in Schoology, and they know that they can go there. So this does look very overwhelming, but the big folders on the left are really all they see when they go into Schoology. And then when they click on them, then they can find the resources that they need. As you can see, I have the past weekly must-dos. That was a learning curve for me. When kids don't get done, because inevitably you're going to have kids not done, even though, Crystal, you would love everybody to be right where they're supposed to be. It just doesn't work that way. So housing the old must-dos for kids to go back and reference has been huge. And that was an add-on that I had to figure out. And I think that's it. I do a newsletter each week.
Oh.
And yeah, that's basically my teaching in a nutshell. I don't know if there's any questions or.
So I might lead you to talking about Acellus. So Acellus is what they're going in and working on, and then you are supplementing that with all of this. So you're having those times to meet with students, check in and see how they're doing. You're watching their progress in Acellus and contacting them if they're not making progress, correct?
Yes. Yeah, Acellus is our main course that we're using. I am able to live monitor them every single day. I'm also able to, I have one student who was doing way more work in science and social studies, not anything in ELA and math. So it does allow you to halt those programs, and she can only work on the ELA and math until she's caught up. So there's a lot of monitoring within Acellus that we're able to do.
Okay. I think we have an end slide just in case you would like to contact us with any questions. The other thing that Christy can probably kind of briefly tell you about is that you guys have meetings as our online teachers. You meet on Wednesdays, I believe, correct?
Yeah, our digital teachers do meet and just kind of brainstorm what's working, what's not, what do we need to do. That's kind of how the supplemental piece came into play very quickly when we realized we had kids flying through steps, and we're going to be done with third grade at about January. And then what? So we quickly found that we needed to supplement, and that's the road we went with using Schoology, and then my Bitmoji classroom.
Any examples from any of the other grade levels that?
I don't have any.
Just to talk, anything you've heard, like is it going well? Any differences at the different grade levels?
Yeah, again, there weren't a lot of people using Bitmoji Classroom, so just teaching that that was a feat in itself. I'm just trying to get people to understand that you don't have to be physically in front of somebody for them to make progress and to learn and still feel connected. But it's going well. We've had a few glitches with Acellus. Actually, I was just getting text before we started. There was content that was questionable, and so it was pulled, and now those kids lost those steps. So just trying to figure that out.
Yep.
It's always,
It's a daily game of whack-a-mole, I have found. So
yeah.
so
Yes.
okay, so I think that's kind of the gist of what we wanted to share,
Mhm.
and we'll ask if anyone has any questions or we can elaborate on anything.
Okay. Great. So this was an awesome and beautiful, beautiful presentation. I'm excited about how beautiful it is. So I'm going to ask anybody to raise their hands now so I'm watching my operations panel,
Okay.
for people to make comments. But the comment that I wanted to make, just, this is Leilani Cawthon from the Learning Council, is it looks like you're fantastic at actually directing attention in digital. Which is, I think, 9/10 of the problem a lot of schools are experiencing. It's why when we shared the digital learning experience standards earlier, that
Mhm.
filing and how you nest, which is, your foldering, your subfoldering, is so critical. And it's such an overlooked step by so many teachers. And what ends up, and it's also critical, and this is to you, Kimberly, that somebody's leading this with some sort of common operational theming behind how you nest, because
Mhm.
from class to class or grade to grade, this is really important. Because if your filing structure is completely different than the next teacher's, it's losing learning time.
Yeah.
Right. And Christy can probably, I think you guys talked a lot about that at the beginning when you were getting up and running, trying to stay consistent.
Yes.
Even especially just in the grade bands, so third, fourth, and fifth look the same,
Yeah.
K1, 2 looks the same.
Yeah. And that's that nest or that landing page. That has been the number one issue that we heard loud and clear in the spring, was just not being able to find things very easily. So having your landing page, whatever it is, if you're, if it's Schoology, great. If it's Google Classroom, whatever your learning management system is, you need to have everybody on board with that. And everybody has to buy into it, and everybody needs to use it so that there's some consistency.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. And I just want to comment on this landing page. Could someone come and decorate my house this way?
She's very good. I've seen, yeah, she does a nice job,
Yeah, super
virtually and
cool.
in person. So
Super
Yeah,
cool.
they're fun. A lot of people think that they're only elementary. I have seen high school Bitmoji classrooms. It's kind of a craze right now going. If you're on Facebook at all, there's a group that I wish I could take credit for this. Literally, there are people who create these and they give them to you for free.
Wow. Somebody who likes to decorate, I'm sure. That could be like a whole new job category, Bitmoji homepage creators.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you haven't been down that rabbit hole, there's a lot of resources. And I presented on Friday to our staff. Everybody thinks this is so overwhelming. There are so many things that you just take that are already done.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think I was going to say too that it's really important. It's great digital because you're not with the kids, but it doesn't mean it has to only be digital. I mean, this is any kind of way that you can organize in when you have a classroom, whether it's in person or digitally. It's helpful to you, to the kids, and the parents because everybody's on the same page. Everybody knows where things are located, so you take that stress level out, right from the beginning.
Right. And this could be done
Mm-hmm.
even if you're in a face-to-face classroom right now with
Mm-hmm.
kids out. I know we've had, normally kids who would have come to school are now staying home because of protocol. And so this is a great way to flip your own classroom. I plan on using this next year if I'm face-to-face. I plan on using this same format.
Yeah, and you should, because who knows when another outbreak's going to occur. Somebody's going to, put
Right.
another virus out there for craziness. It's like, we don't know.
Right.
I think that's one of the reasons people are saying there's no normal anymore, because, let's say you're in an area that gets tornadoes or hurricanes or fires, which, half the country is those three. It's going to be, you're in and out anyway. I mean, now everybody's like, well, we always need to be this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep
I
saying
just
it's
said
kind of
that.
pushed people off the digital cliff. I mean, we've had Schoology in our district for 6 years, and I still had staff members who had not used it until they had to. And then they're like, oh, well, this isn't, I mean, I like this, and how do I do this, and how do I do that? So, it's unfortunate that it took such an event, to push everybody off that cliff, but I think we've made more headway just in the last 6 months than we have in the last 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I also want to comment on Christy, the maturity of the mixing. So what I mean by that is you've become a mixologist of types of resources, and you've wrapped around that contextualization of UI UX, so user interface, user experience, by the virtue of how you file things. But it's like, now you go in here, right? Now log in over here, now do this over here, now do that over there. That workflow is about almost everything Learning Council has been talking about for almost 2 years now. Workflow is essential to understand, and everyone will always be a mixologist. It's never one solution. And I think a lot of school districts are trying to get away with like just Google or just their LMS. And then they sort of treat other resources as like sideshow things, and they forget maybe, you got to log in every. The direction of directing of attention. It looks like you have a very mature view of it, and I'm super proud of you for that, because I keep saying this is huge.
Yeah, it is, and it's I think it is important to
absolutely
mix.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I know Christy's done a lot of work. I mean, we were chatting back and forth at 10 o'clock at night over the summer, so I think I'm just proud of, the leadership and the work that she has done, because it has elevated our entire district.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thanks. And there is a weekly message. I on that bookshelf, you can see I screencastify a Monday morning message to the kids, just, letting them know I'm there if they need anything, what to expect this week. So it's a lot of intermixing. The Google Meets are a way to connect. I think you need, like you said, you need a lot of mixed, different opportunities for kids.
Absolutely. Okay, so in the 1 minute or so we have left, can you comment about the social emotional side of this journey for the students? Like, what happened?
Nothing. I just know, I mean, you hear suicide rates among teens, not feeling like they're part of something. You see failure to thrive in our nursing homes. It's that not feeling connected to someone when you're isolated. Some of my kids, they have a family member with cancer. So I just think for the Google Meets, we have fun. I ask how they're doing. We share. It's just a way, and I keep them in the same Google Meet for a reason, so that they get to know those same 15 kids twice a week. It's not, throwing them in a mix with 40 other kids every week, just so that they feel connected and like they belong. And that's really something for me in the classroom that has always been a huge piece.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this has been an amazing presentation, and again, beautiful. And I really want to thank you guys so much. You know what? I don't think North Canton City Schools is an EduJedi member yet, so we got to make you guys an honorary member. It's free. It's totally free. So make sure you go to the learningcouncil.com site and fill out the form, and then you have to print out the membership thing and take a picture with it. When we were on the road live, we would just hand out the paper and people would sign, and then they'd hold it in front of themselves. We'd take a picture, and that was easy peasy. But now we have to ask you to do that yourself.
Okay.
Because we have to be socially distanced, literally by 1,000 miles right now,
right,
online. But we miss being on the road. When we get on the road, we're hoping to see you guys when we come back out. But this has been amazing. So I'm dubbing you honorary EduJedi.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. We appreciate being collegial and meeting other folks and building a bigger network. So
yeah, and expect more questions, because once we take this recording and kick it out nationally to the entire national audience, there'll probably be people reaching out to you too, and thinking, and at least saying like, hey, you people are awesome. We love you. So good. All right. Well, I'm going to take back the screen.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys both so much.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Okay.
That was the biggest push for a lot of our teachers, is seeing how immediately it impacted the students' view of learning.
STmath has been a huge benefit to us. It allows our students to think critically and problem solve without the bias of language. So students are able to build foundational concepts in math.
At Mind Research Institute, we believe every student has the potential to deeply understand and truly love math.
In my own particular classroom, we have a lot of students that are learning the English language. So they haven't maybe been as active in my math class previously, but now those puzzles, all you have to do is look at them. And you're thinking about what's happening on the screen, how am I getting GG across to the other side? And so I feel like everyone's engaged in what we're doing.
I used to not like math, but when I started to play STmath, it started to make me feel more confident about math.
I really think that it has helped teachers get remotivated with how they teach math and be excited about math, and in turn our kids are as well.
STmath is different. It's a pre-K to 8 visual instructional program that leverages the brain's innate spatial temporal reasoning ability to solve math problems. STmath's unique, patented approach provides students with equitable access to learning through challenging puzzles, non-routine problem solving, and informative feedback.
When I'm playing STmath, I can feel that I'm getting better and that my skills are getting better when I'm doing math.
I love seeing their eyes light up when they say, oh, I saw this puzzle. Oh, that's what that means.
It's pretty neat to see really the kids help each other. And so when they start working through the games, they really are empowered to know the game and learn how it works and understand the math behind it. And they want to share that information with their peers. And so they start opening up a line of communication that they previously didn't have because they are now the experts on the game.
With STmath, students build deep conceptual understanding, and schools see proven, repeatable results. Play to learn math. Learn to love math. STmath. Go to stmath.com to play and learn.